watching the Western Athletic Conference on ESPN. Look at that gem of a building. Moody Coliseum is back and better than ever in Abilene, Texas. It's women's hoops tonight to open the season. Howard Payne and Abilene Christian. And now welcome courtside, everybody. Zach Carlisle along with Andy Penny, Carrie Johnston coming up as well. Well, we can't start this without talking about this building. Moody Coliseum, after 2 years away, is back open.
Moody Magic has so many memories here, 2 years under renovation. ACU back at home. Welcome home, Wildcats. It's going to be a fun night as the women get their 2022-23 season underway tonight, Zach.
Yeah, can't wait for that. And then for this Abilene Christian team, they come back after a 17-win campaign, 11th year under Julie Goodenough. And they have a lot of new faces this year.
Well, the veteran and Julie Goodenough, but some work to do here. Just 25% of her scoring roster comes back from a year ago. Just 4 players who were in Wildcat uniform last year are back this year. It's time to build camaraderie with this new group that we'll see on the floor tonight. Excited to see year number 11 in the Julie Goodenough era.
Division III, Howard Payne comes in, and a first-year head coach, Presley Fisk. For more on that, we send it over to Carrie Johnston.
Thanks, Zach. On August 1st, Howard Payne hired interim head coach Presley Fisk, who has strong connections to the university. Fisk played for the university from 2014 to 2018, where she finished 10th all-time in career assists and 2nd in career three-pointers made. She went on to be the video coordinator for Stephen F. Austin before coaching at the high school level, and then she got the call from Howard Payne. So it'll be interesting to see how she impacts her alma mater. Guys, back to you.
Carrie, thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, the different dynamics. There's new on both sides of the floor tonight. And probably the most turnover that the roster has seen in a long time for Abilene Christian. But I'm excited. A new era, if you will. It kind of feels like at ACU.
Yeah, new era with a, like we say, an overturned roster. We saw a year ago how the transfer portal helped this program with the likes of a Jamie Bonarens, a Tatum Barber, Emma Middleton, who played such a vital role in their one season here at ACU. We'll see if this new crop of Wildcats, some freshmen, some through the transfer portal, what kind of name will they make for themselves here in purple and white.
No juniors, no seniors, a couple of grad students, and a lot of underclassmen for Abilene Christian. And the most important thing, this season is back, and this building is back open, and it's back and better than ever. Abilene Christian and Howard Payne to open the women's season. Glad you're with us tonight on ESPN. ACU gets the opening tap. Off we go from Abilene, Texas. Bella Earl right away. Oh, they wanted to see the threes. This is a program that doesn't shy away from it. 2 tries, 0 for 2. Maddie Miller, no good. A third chance for Abilene Christian.
If you're unfamiliar with ACU basketball, 811 three-point attempts last season. They'll fire from deep.
Addison Martin, no good on her first attempt inside, and she was fouled. Take a peek at the starters. We'll start with Howard Payne, the visitors, Walsh, and then Bria Neal. Probably the top player returning, over 17 points a game. Greenwell, Buchanan, and then Anna Beamsdorfer, a freshman, standing at 6'1". Abilene Christian, as you see, Addison Martin, no good on the free throw. Zoe Jackson, a point guard. Miller and Earl are the 2-3 guards, and then Martin and Malia Langstaff. It's a unique story for Addison Martin. They thought she was going to play a role last year, but she tore up her leg in August leading into the year, ended up taking a red shirt. She's back, and she's got her first career point.
Well, she's one of the 4 that we count as returners for the Wildcats, and as you mentioned, just 3 of those 4 played last year.
Tried to get a steal to turn that into points. And we're 40 ticks in. Substitution coming in already for Howard Payne. Kiara Green, the sophomore out of Amarillo, Texas. Howard Payne coming here to town. Couple of teams from West Texas. Maddie Miller missed the 3. Bella Earl throws it out of bounds. ACU already has had a ton of chances to put the ball in the basket. 0 for 5 from the field.
We new size advantage, height advantage would be in the favor of ACU. Offensive rebounds on the stat sheet, just no points to show for it yet.
Ball tapped off of Zoe Jackson. It'll stay with Howard Payne from the American Southwest Conference in NCAA Division III. On the move as they try to find somewhere, and on the baseline it's Lillian Small, a freshman who also was not in the starting lineup. Immediately off the bench, a minute into the season. Jackson, the lefty, open in the corner. Malia Langstaff, the putback. ACU's got their first field goal of the year. Timeout, Howard Payne. And that will send us to a timeout, a minute and a half in. Abilene Christian in front, 3-0 to get us started tonight.
Build a better future. Surely they could not have imagined how much their vision would grow. Today, Abilene Christian is recognized in national benchmarks for student success outcomes, research productivity, and athletic accomplishments. As we embark on next steps, we are uniquely poised to become one of the nation's premier Christian universities. We invite you to join us. We will climb higher together.
You know, there's a lot of nostalgia in the old building, but to see this new one come to life and all the planning stages and just the generosity of our donors and all of that, it's just completely transformed the experience of being a student athlete and a coach at ACU, and everything is first class.
Yeah, the season opener is always really special, and this year is absolutely no exception. We are so excited to finally play a game in newly renovated Moody Coliseum, and I just have a feeling that not just the ACU community, but the big country is really going to show up for our team on November the 9th, just to be able to say they were at the first game in Moody Coliseum.
It's going to be the lights flashing and everything, and just knowing how special it is for me in that moment, but also for a lot of people that have waited 2 years for this facility to be ready. Everybody's been waiting for opening night for men's and women's basketball, and so I think it's just going to be an overwhelming form of emotion, but I'm going to be so locked in on the game that I'm not going to try to let it overwhelm me too much, but I am very excited for that moment.
Back in Abilene, Texas, Moody Coliseum for opening night for women's basketball. Abilene Christian leading 3-0 over Howard Payne after the timeout called by Presley Fick, HPU's head coach. Off they go on offense, and it was almost, oh yes, it was a turnover. I thought maybe ACU had it out of bounds. Instead, Howard Payne gives it back.
Good pace thus far, Zach, for ACU, extending defensive pressure into the backcourt here in the first few minutes, trying to get out on top early against their foes, just 65 miles away.
Zoe Jackson, Abilene Christian has a three-pointer. You're going to see a ton of them attempted tonight.
Well, again, Zach, it's a team with 811 attempts from a year ago, shot it at 35%. That is high on the list for Coach Julie Goodenough on the offensive end.
Inside, Bria Neal. All conference a year ago. For Howard Payne, Bella Earl wants one, no. And Neal with the rebound. Last year averaged almost 18 points and 8 rebounds. Spectacular at both ends of the floor. Kiera Green off of a screen to sophomore. And it's a bump and a defensive foul at this end. We talked about her in the open. Presley Fisk, the first-year head coach of Howard Payne, a graduate of Howard Payne, takes over her alma mater this season.
Yeah, four-year women's basketball player there for the Lady Jackets, 2014 to 2018, hired in the summer of 2022, and I know she's excited to be in Brownwood, and always something special to go back and lead where you were led back as a player, and That's what Fisk is doing this year.
2.5 minutes in, it's a 6-0 start. Howard Payne looking for their first points. Is that a long two? No, it's a three. It is a three. Lillian Small, the freshman out of Temple, Texas, first career points. Maddie Miller wants her first points of her 5th year as a Wildcat. Offensive rebound. ACU's definitely going to have the advantage in that area tonight. Drive and kick offense. Bella Earl, no, and it'll stay at this end. Veteran head coach on the other side, Julie Goodenough, year number 11 at Abilene Christian. A win tonight gets her to 200 at ACU.
You can see it's something special there. Year number 200, or well, not year, win number 200 on the horizon here in year number 11. She loves playing this matchup with Howard Payne. Of course, many years in her career spent over at Hardin-Simmons University, conference opponents of Howard Payne.
Aspen Thornton, the second point guard on the team out there, number 1. Malia Langstaff, her three's no good, but Thornton gets it back and is bumped by Caitlin Ward of HPU. Interesting battle at the point guard position. Taylor Morgan not with the team this year, so it's the 2 point guards, Thornton and Jackson. That's a nice inbound pass. Bella Earl, first points of the year for the sophomore.
Yeah, good execution of the inbounds play, just over the top pass. Bella Earl streaking on the backside, easy right-handed layup.
Talked throughout the night about that point guard battle that ACU had here leading into the start of the season. Ball deflected out of bounds, and the Lady Jackets turn it over again. Rachel Harjo checks in for ACU.
Number 33, Rachel Harjo.
I'm excited about the rotation. I think there's going to be a ton of faces. We get to see a little bit of everybody for both sides tonight.
Yep. Yeah, and on a night like tonight, it's time to start figuring out, you know, your combinations on the floor.
Martin offline on the 3. The Shreveport, Louisiana native, number 12 in white. Here comes Green again. She's been busy trying to get some space to the rim. Nothing doing. It'll be a height disadvantage, obviously, at this level for Howard Payne. Thornton, yes! Aspen Thornton, the leader in scoring in the country last year at the Division II level for Ouachita Baptist.
A good-looking shot. There is no nerve in that jump shot for Thornton. Buries it from the left side.
Welcome to Division I basketball. Turning around, tough shot. Nice move, Kiera Green.
ACU playing extended man-to-man defense out past the three-point line. Green found a seam, able to get to the rim and put it up off the glass nice and soft, and got the friendly roll.
Caitlin Ward called for personal foul number 2. Back to the Thornton triple.
Yeah, you mentioned the leading scorer in the country last year, Thornton, in all of Division II. Ouachita Baptist put up 43 in a game versus Arkansas Tech.
23 points per game last year. That's craziness.
And she looks good with the ball in her hand.
A little hesitation. Good distribution. Rachel Harjo for 3. Martin with the offensive rebound. Another offensive board. This one taken away, and it'll be a jump ball. It's already offensive rebound number 10 for ACU tonight. Halfway through the first quarter.
And again, extended man-to-man here for the Wildcats. Lady Jackets trying to play pick and roll top of the key.
Oh, just get Green the ball and one. Kiera Green. First-year Lady Jacket. That was some nice handles and strong hands with the basketball.
Well, great vision, great court vision there. She has the screen set up to her left, as you'll see here. ACU trying to fight through it, so what's she do? Oh, zoop, just a little spin move, gets to the right side of the glass. Whistle and a foul, a chance for a three-point play.
We've got free throws for Howard Payne, and They're able to knock it down to make it an 11-8 game. 3-point play for Green.
We'll get to go back. We'll see many combinations tonight. When you have a new roster on the floor, you've got to try different combinations. Which 5 works the best together? And live action certainly helps you figure that out.
Offensive rebound for number 32, Brooke Jessen. Harjo no on the 3. And tapped around. HPU coming the other way. Abilene Christian 0 for their last 5 from the field. Green, a little space that was altered by Earl. Chance to run. ACU loves to do this more than anybody. Extra pass, Claire Graham. No good from 3, number 23, now a jump ball. And it'll stay at this end. Getting to know these fresh faces for ACU, and it took them a little time. They get to campus in June, but it took them most of the summer just to get familiar with one another. Zoe Jackson returns to the lineup, number 13 for the Wildcats.
I had a chance to talk to Maddie Miller before the game. Of course, the grad student who's been here for 5 years. And she misses that one, stoppage in play here, but had a chance to talk to her. She was really excited about this unit for the Wildcats, having a chance to lead this team as a grad student and a 5th-year player.
Down on the floor is Talia Bess, a freshman for Howard Payne. She is in some clear pain for the Lady Jackets. Can't put any pressure on that right leg. You hope she is all right. Trinity Greenwell helping her teammate off the floor. And Caitlin Ward will check in for Bess. ACU possession. Zoe Jackson takes it with her strong hand on the left side to snap an 0 for 6 streak for ACU.
Yeah, Wildcats spread the floor. Jackson, good handles with the left hand. Able to beat the defender, get to the glass. Make a good looking left-handed layup.
Ooh, almost a terrific extra pass. You saw Brenna Welsh, number 3, get into the paint. Howard Payne's only been able to attempt 7 shots from the floor, 21 attempts for ACU so far.
I think if you're Howard Payne 7 minutes in, you're feeling good about where you are. Now ACU hasn't shot it well out of the shoots.
3 on the shot clock, just something forced up there, and that'll be a shot clock violation. Wells tried to create and ran out of time. That'll be a question mark this year too for ACU. What does the defense look like? I think it may be a little undersized at times throughout the course of the season. Not tonight in a game against Howard Payne, but when they get into league play, I think that's one of the questions that a lot of folks are going to wonder about this team. 7 minutes into the opening quarter.
Spread the floor.
Jackson can't buy one. I mean, ACU 24% from the floor so far. Not for a lack of open shots. Ooh. Nifting in transition, Bria Neal. She's fun to watch.
Yeah, she is. Gets 17.5 points a game last year to lead the Lady Jackets. Something for Coach Fisk and company to build on.
Tristan Keller walked with it, number 20, another freshman out of Mason, Texas. Langstaff returns to the Wildcat lineup, number 4. 13-10. 2:20 to go in quarter number 1.
Howard Payne again working the perimeter and man-to-man, just trying to find some seams. Good hands for the Wildcats.
Jump ball.
Both teams working the perimeter right now, trying to drive and dish or drive and get to the rim. Both have been successful in the drive to the rim, trying to get the dish. Both teams do have a three-point make, but been slim pickings for ACU from behind the three-point line.
10 on a shot clock. Greenwell double teamed. Open for three, Beamsdorfer. Nothing there. ACU, can they run? Langstaff, little out of control. Claire Graham almost got it. The local kid out of Jim Ned High School.
Well, you just see the height advantage for ACU, especially defensively. It really shows tonight.
Travel.
You got
Ward.
Ward at 5'5", being guarded by Harjo at 6'2" out on the perimeter. I like the rotation here. I didn't know how quickly Coach Goodenough would get into rotation schedule, but I tell you, it feels like every dead ball, Zach, we're seeing a little line change here. 1 to 2 players coming in about every 30 to 45 seconds.
10 already playing for ACU. Oh, offensive foul on the Wildcats. You see the series history. ACU leads at 28-4. That dates all the way back to when ACU was in Division II. Here is a look at that, I think, illegal screen.
Yeah, Martin got caught. It looked like Martin was set in the screen, but then started to roll to the basket, still in contact, and the offensive foul was called.
On a baseline charge.
Great help, Claire Graham. Anticipated the backdoor cut, slid across, able to take the charge.
Claire Graham, the freshman who's got a lot of family in-house tonight. They had a lot of that lower section behind the benches.
Yeah, her hometown, Tuscola, Jim Ned High School, as you mentioned, just a few miles outside of Abilene.
Off the backboard, no good for Thornton. Bella Earl with the offensive rebound. It's ACU's 14th of this first quarter. They just can't make the shots. Thornton's hit one, almost hit another. Earl aboard, put back, yes. They're gonna get some of them to go eventually.
Bella's going to be a key cog in this ACU success this year.
This ball's loose. Claire Graham up. At some point, someone's going to grab it, and it's actually might be a foul. It is. It's a foul on Ward for diving, and that's her third personal. Really going after the ball, but makes contact.
Yeah, can't fault the hustle there of Ward, diving on the floor. But unfortunately for her, her third personal foul here in the first quarter. And bonus time here for ACU.
Claire Graham at the line. Welcome to college basketball, her first points of her career. We're going to be saying that for most of the roster tonight when they get in the scoring column. Hits them both, and ACU's got a touchdown lead. No shot clock. Howard Payne can hold for one. Asia Mitchell, 5 to go to Neal, deep. Loose, and it's a foul with a 1/10 of a second. It's on Malia Langstaff of Abilene Christian. I don't know what you do with point one.
Point one, you can only tip.
And that'll do it. It's the end of the first quarter. ACU 17, Howard Payne 10. WAC basketball on ESPN. Time now for our keys to the game, brought to you by your Greater Texas Ford dealers.
Yeah, Zach, for Howard Payne, just stay in the moment. Maybe their biggest game all year, at least the biggest atmosphere they'll play in. Stay in the moment, have fun tonight, compete hard. That's what the Lady Jackets need to do. For ACU, hey, what have we learned over the last month in practice? Can we execute what we've done and do it with maximum effort? I think we saw maximum effort in the first quarter. maybe not the execution yet, and then past the gel, hey, it's time to take this roster, this new roster, and start gelling together. Tonight, night number 1, a chance to do that.
Do you use gel? Yeah. Is really the question.
I do, yes. The question is, do you?
Yeah, I think you knew the answer to that one.
Yeah, we'll let you know at halftime. We'll let our audience know at halftime.
Glad you're with us tonight. We're having a lot of fun at Moody Coliseum for the opener for the women's college basketball season. Zach Carlisle, Andy Penny, Carrie Johnston, and the gang. Howard Payne into the paint. And it's Lillian Small, and I tell you what, I've been impressed by these Lady Jackets so far.
Hey, they came to play. They knew it was a tall task tonight playing up in Division I, but good first quarter for the visiting team.
Trinity Greenwell no good on the 3. 50 seconds in, Maddie Miller ready for one to drop for her 5th year at ACU. Out of bounds it goes, and it goes over to Howard Payne.
Got 20 3-point attempts for ACU tonight. We knew it was their game. We knew it's high on the priority list in their offensive strategy to shoot the 3-point shot. Just not falling as of yet. Now updated to 21. They're 2 for 21 from behind the arc.
Yeah, on pace for 76 3-point attempts. Probably won't get there, but you never know on opening night. Langstaff with the rebound. I'm curious which group of 5 gels together. Oh, Zoe Jackson, she's a spark plug. And one for the lefty.
And Zach, that's the second time we've seen Jackson top of the key with the left hand, dribble penetration, beat the defense, left-handed layup. This time she's fouled. Chance for a 3-point play.
So one of your point guards is a transfer from D2 Ouachita Baptist, where she led the country in scoring. The other one up a level at Butler out of the Big East. Transfers over here to ACU. She played all kinds of big games every single night, 27 games as a freshman, and her best game came against the Indiana Hoosiers. She is the perfect type of player to ride this thing out for Abilene Christian.
Well, the success of any offense starts with the point guard. Put your team in position offensively, 1 in transition, 2 in the half court. Jackson has big shoes to fill this year, but she's off to a nice start.
Baseline, Greenwell, no. Trinity Greenwell, the senior.
Yeah, shot clock was running down, had to try to get one up on the rim.
Langstaff. They like her length, the 5'11" grad transfer from Northeastern State.
Double screen, top of the key. Trying to allow Green to select which way she wants to go.
Jackson got in there. How fun is number 13 to watch? Timeout, Howard Payne. Largest lead for Abilene Christian of 16 points here in the second quarter. Meanwhile, 26-10 ACU. Howard Payne's used a couple of early timeouts, 1 in each quarter, as they face their largest deficit tonight of 16.
Well, Wildcats starting to settle in, especially on the defensive end, leading to transition. Zoe Jackson starting to take over offensively.
And defensively, too. Look at this. She stole it initially, and then it goes off of her foot. Some of the students in the stands. They try to fill this place up tonight for the opener. For the women, the men opened on Monday night here in Abilene. It kind of just felt like, it just felt different. This is more than just a new season getting underway. It's really, really something special. That ball's tapped free. It'll stay with ACU after they got the steal.
That's good energy in here. We were able to be a part of the men's game the other night versus Jackson State. Great crowd that night, great crowd tonight. There's something about all being together in a facility like this, success on the basketball court that really generates some momentum for a university.
The most common travel in the sport right there. The ball fake at the three-point line for Bella Earl. Walked with it. ACU gives it away. And that was a unique environment of the Teague Center. I mean, you could never have something like that again, just with it being that temporary place, very intimate feel. But there's just a unique energy to being back in this building. ACU trying to run again. Maddie Miller still looking for her first points, the fifth-year senior out of Wiley, Texas, number 31. She is the only player on the roster who played in the old Moody Coliseum back in the 1920 season.
Part of that NCAA tournament team as well. She carries a lot of history on her shoulders as far as postseason play. And here in Moody, she was a part of that game. And Zach, I know you remember the night that ACU beat Stephen F. Austin the last time they had played in here. We had a few friendly bats flying around the top. Yeah, we'll call them friends. You can call them friends. But yeah, flying around the ceiling tops here at Moody Coliseum.
They used to talk about the Moody Bats all the time. Claire Graham, no good on the three. Now a foul on the scramble for the loose ball. And is it on? Oh, it's on ACU. Well, yeah, it's on ACU. I don't know who they got the foul call on. I initially thought they signaled 10, but there was no 10 out there for the Wildcats. There was for HPU. Abilene Christian going to put a little pressure on. Oh, well, okay, no, yeah. They did signal 10 for Howard Payne. They just gave it to the wrong team, ACU basketball. My eyes haven't failed me just yet.
A little more pace here in the half court, second quarter for ACU. They were catching fire first quarter, much more structured in their offensive sets.
Graham, a confident looking three, no good. Number 11, Alexis Babineau going in for the rebound, unable to do so. And the Lady Jackets coming the other way. ACU on the run. Bella Earl, that's where she's special, and one.
Zach Bella's got the whole game, and especially if she can get out in the open floor, chance to put the ball on the floor and get to the rim. Something special there. But boy, had a great season last year as a freshman. Career high 17 points, twice the WAC Freshman of the Week. She's something special.
And Julie Goodenough told us that Bella Earl would have been in the conversation for the WAC Freshman of the Year had she been a starter. She just wasn't a starter. There was a lot of depth, and we talked about the faces that left the program. That's what she was playing behind. Now is into that kind of superstar role, and they're going to expect her to take that step this season. Second leading scorer tonight, 7 points for ACU. A special talent out of Denton Geyer High School in Corinth, Texas. Rhea Neal. If Howard Payne is going to make a dent in the ASC this year, they are going to need Bria Neal, number 10. It's the foul on Abilene Christian, their first of the period.
Yeah, Neal can light it up, 29 in a game last year versus Belhaven. This is a good foundational piece for Coach Fisk as she starts year number 1. 17.5 points a game. Neal started all but one game last year. 44% from the field. Not a three-point shooter. Only attempted one three-pointer all of last year. So she's a get to the rim type of player.
She's been honored by the American Southwest Conference every year that she has been at Howard Payne, whether it's honorable mention, all freshman team, second team, all league. A couple of years ago as well. Tuesdays on ESPN Plus, get in-depth coverage of all things Abilene Christian women's basketball. It's the Julie Goodenough Show, presented by ACU TV, every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, on ESPN Plus and the ESPN app. Rachel Harjo, welcome to Abilene Christian, the Central Florida transfer, able to get the points to go to make it a 20-point lead.
A good positive here in the first half, the execution of inbounds plays. We've seen Bella Earl score on an over-the-top lob pass, and they're a good entry pass to Harjo for an easy finish.
Turnaround one-hander from Neal. Thornton tried to get it somewhere. Finds Claire Graham. ACU tonight. There's a putback. Harjo's going to shoot it. ACU 2 for 24 from the three-point line. 24 of their 39 shot attempts have come from distance. And the thing is that they're not going to stop. If they're missing, it does not matter. It doesn't affect how. That's how they play the game.
Well, you'd like to think, Zach, the law of percentages will eventually balance itself out. A team that shot it at 35% a year ago, so just got to keep firing.
Julie Goodenough coaching him up on the sideline. It's going to be interesting tonight because you're getting everybody experience where none of them have it. And so there is going to be growing pains and a lot of ups and downs in situations like this. And you're just trying to find what 5 pieces on the court work at the same time. Rachel Harjo, good on a pair.
Yeah, and you're talking some that, didn't even know each other a few months ago, much less had played with each other on the court. So a lot of dynamic. You talk about one, execution of offense, but there's a lot that goes in when you talk nonverbal communication and instincts of players. And when we make eye contact, I know you're hitting a backdoor cut, et cetera. I like lob passes. I like it on my left hand versus my right hand. I like to spin baseline. I like to spin, into the paint. All of those type of things you have to learn about your teammates just to put them in a position to be successful.
8 to shoot it. It's Brenna Welsh. No on the 3. And Julie Goodenough mentioned that as well, that we had to be a little more careful putting in the plays and making sure everybody was good on all that stuff. It's just everybody learns at a different speed, and it's a lot to put together. Harjo, her 3 offline. Chance to run. Welsh got behind everybody and lays it in.
Sometimes on long shots you get long rebounds, and that's what happened there. Nobody back in quote-unquote prevent defense for ACU, and a run out for Welsh.
There's a toss into the paint, and Alexis Babineau finishes.
Yeah, Babineau can be special around the rim. Good finish there for the 6-foot sophomore.
Out of Houston. Foul at this end, getting the ball into the hands of Brenna Welsh, the freshman out of Waco, Texas.
I've been impressed with the guard play of Howard Payne. They've had a tough time on the interior as far as post play, and that's just because of the size here. ACU with a height advantage on the inside. So Howard Payne's had to generate from the perimeter, and they've done well with the dribble, able to attack, get to the glass, and finish. And this time now Welsh at the line to shoot 2.
No good on to first one. Welsh, as we mentioned, out of Waco Valley Mills High School. As Coach Fisk looks on. Under 3 to go until halftime. Number 5, Hampton Williams into the game for Abilene Christian. Maddie Miller gonna get one eventually, right? Can't buy that. No good. Welsh with the board. Into the game, number 12, Evie Skolot. She's out there, number 12 in navy blue. Reverse layup, Greenwell, no good.
Boy, Jackson's so quick.
How fun is she to watch?
Yeah, boy, she is so quick with the dribble. Sees the floor well. Crossover dribble into the paint. That was a tough angle on that layup shot. Got it high up off the glass. I thought from that angle that was going to be tough. I thought she just floated up over the top of the rim, but still able to use the glass and get it in.
Up and under Brenna Welsh, and there's a foul. Coming up, ESPN Halftime Report. Joseph Chapa Sawyer Davis in the studio. ACU TV feature on a Moody Coliseum renovation. Highlights and analysis as well. It's all coming up on the ESPN Halftime Report. Under 2 minutes away from that, Ashley Seymour, a freshman out of Houston, to the line for the Lady Jackets. 10 freshmen on this roster for Howard Payne. I don't know that I've done a game like this to where there are just so many faces that I've never seen. 19 players on these two rosters combined who were not on the roster a season ago.
You know, the eyes are big. You know, just the stage is big, the eyes are big. That'll come down with time. The speed of the game a little bit quicker. Boy, Williams wants the ball down on the block.
5'11" freshman. She's on the perimeter now. Big size advantage. Takes it with the left hand, and she'll go to the line.
That's good vision by Williams. Had the height advantage, the size advantage, was posted up down on the block. Just couldn't get the entry pass, so she pops up top of the key. Again with the height advantage, able to drive with the left hand, draw the foul and get to the free throw line.
Well, Julie Goodenough told us that Williams is maybe one of their stronger players, can muscle her way to the basket as she did exactly right there, and it results in free throws. They love this youngster out of Kansas. Hits one, and she's got the first points of her collegiate career.
Coach Goodenough's had great success over the years recruiting in that Midwest area, the Oklahoma and the Kansas area. She's been able to pull so many from that part of the country. Get them down here to Abilene.
Denied was Welsh. Miller, the quarterback pass down the court. Long from Harjo. The drive, tapped out of bounds. It stays at this end. 63 ticks until the break. And a 38-15 lead. ACU 21-5 advantage here in this second quarter. 1 minute left. Here is Beams Durfer. Rebound to Brooke Jessen.
ACU's done a good job defensive glass. Just 2 offensive rebounds for Howard Payne. Just 1 point on a free throw, second chance opportunity points.
Thornton no good on that 3. ACU subs in a pair, Graham and Earl. And Addison Martin back in the lineup as well, number 12. Oh, they're going to get one more sub? Yes, they will. Kelly Tran in for HPU.
Seems like Coach Goodenough tonight has tried to keep at least Earl or Miller on the floor at any time, any point in the game. One of her 2 quote-unquote veterans returning from last year. She's tried to keep at least one of those on the court at all times.
Graham well short. For Abilene Christian, that was 3-point attempt number 29 of the first half. 2-second difference. Here comes Tran. Plenty of time for Greenwell. The lefty's going to launch. ACU's got 5 seconds. Graham. Will she do it herself? She'll get one off. It's no good. And it takes us into halftime. Abilene Christian leads it 38-15. 23-point lead. Time for the ESPN Halftime Report. Joseph and Sawyer. They're in the studio. Guys, it's all yours.
And welcome inside the OR studio for ACU TV halftime show. I'm Sawyer Davis alongside Joseph Chapa, and we're going to have some reactions about the first half of that wonderful basketball game between the ACU Wildcats and the Howard Plain Hornets.
Sawyer, if I was heading into this ball game and ACU has 20 offensive rebounds, if you're the opposing coach, you say, oh no, we're in for a long night. What a dominating performance for Coach Julie Goodenough and her Wildcats.
The offensive rebounds and rebounds in general have been impressive on the ACU side, but stick with us as we come back for more in-depth analysis for the first half. And welcome back to the halftime show presented by ESPN+. ACU Wildcats at home versus the Howard Payne Yellow Jackets. I'm Sawyer Davis alongside good friend Joseph Chapa.
Yes,
and we are going to go in depth about the first half of this beautiful basketball game early in November.
You know, it's historic for ACU. It's been 2 years since Coach Julie Goodenough and her ball club played here in the newly renovated Moody Coliseum. They're known for three-point shooting. They're known for free throws. They're known for getting up and down the floor. But you look at those offensive rebounds, man. I mean, that tells the tale of this ball game.
First half stats brought to you by First Bank Texas, building strong homes, business, and friendships since 1880. Joseph, what really sticks out to you about these first half stats?
So 3 new starters for ACU. You have Maddie Miller, and this is what you sign up for, right? It's your 5th year. It's a historic year with the new Moody, and you get to mentor a person like Bella Earl. Kind of reminds me of a little LeBron James, Anthony Davis moment right there. Then you have 3 new girls who really can add some perimeter shooting, add some defense, add some length in the interior. So those are some things that really stand out to me.
At the bottom here, look at these rebound differentials. 38 rebounds for the Wildcats, along with the 14 rebounds against Howard Payne. If you're Howard Payne, you got to get something going offensively. The second quarter was a little slow for them offensively. So if you're Howard Payne, how do you look to get things started coming out of halftime?
Well, you know what, Sawyer, I think you look at the foul line. You're not getting really anything across half court because that's a credit to ACU's full court defense. So you got to get to the foul line, create shots there, get some points from the free throw line and see if you can come back and win this ball game. But, you know, we're talking about Moody Coliseum. Our own ACU TV's Emily Schaefer sat down with Abilene Christian University's administrator, Kevin Campbell, to talk about the newly renovated Moody Coliseum and the details about that project.
Can you tell me a little bit about when plans to renovate Moody first began?
So, really around the season that we played Kentucky, the conversation was really starting. So we started trying to get some high-level planning just to kind of see what would it cost, what would the shape of this thing be. All those conversations were happening in 2019. In 2020, we actually decided, okay, hey, we're going to renovate Moody. Obviously, the very unique thing that happened during that time frame was COVID. And with our students not being able to access chapel the same way because of the COVID restrictions, we were then asked to speed up the timeline.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your specific role in this renovation process?
In particular, on this one, oversee major construction projects, but also trying to recognize that Moody is such a multi-purpose event center that there's not a single owner of this facility. So a substantial part of my role was trying to coordinate across all the different users of the space to make sure that we built something that was really good for all the users that would be using the space.
What were some of the biggest challenges that arose from this process?
There were so many challenges. Starting a construction project 4 months ahead of schedule, that took a substantial amount of rework to dealing with construction inflation and the supply chain difficulties. This was the first indoor arena in the world with the seating bowl that was installed here, and there's so many complexities there, but there were so many challenges with this one.
What are some of your favorite redesigns of the new Moody?
Yes, oh my goodness. This north lobby is one of my favorites. The mannequins, the display, just the feeling when you walk in, the Rulon wood ceiling, you know, the ACU, letters here. This north lobby is one of my favorites. Really proud of, I think, the way that we did the locker rooms. Try to add a real Division I collegiate feel for our athletes. Try to impress, not only give them a really cool place to be, but impress recruits when they come in.
What are you looking forward to as basketball season starts to approach?
One of the things I'm really looking forward to is just the game day experience. Seeing the coaches and the players, see how they respond to all the fans. Really optimistic about the way that the ACU community and the city of Abilene is going to support and show up and hopefully pack out Moody and just the energy that can be created by a full arena and hopefully the home court advantage that provides our team.
ACU in front by 23 at halftime, 38-15 over Howard Payne. Second half moments away. And we say welcome courtside, everybody. We're down here courtside. Zach Carlisle and Andy Penny. Glad you're with us. I tell you what, a first half that took some kind of trying to get into the flow of the game a little bit. I don't know if either team really got there just yet.
Yeah, it's game number one, right? I think the first 20 minutes certainly indicate that it was game number one. The shooting wasn't great. I thought that the level of play was good. The hustle was there. The energy was good, but the shot's just not there. ACU, 48 shot attempts, just 14 of 48, but offensive rebounds, they led offensively in that category, and then defense, when you hold Howard Payne to just 15 points, you're going to have a 23-point halftime lead. Good things, a few nuggets to take from that first half. Still a lot to work on for really both teams.
Thoughts on the early parts of this third quarter here? I think my guess is we continue to see these heavy rotations and substitutions throughout this thing.
Yeah, plenty of line changes in the second half. I really thought Coach Julie Goodenough let them play in the first half. Hey, let's see what you can do. I'm curious to see if Coach Goodenough will have a little bit more structure as far as half-court set, offensive sets, or continue to just let her team kind of figure it out, get some video on archived, and go to the film room. And, hey, let's talk about what we did tonight.
How about a putback for Elena Buchanan? We didn't talk about number 25 much in the first half, but she was there after the ball was blocked by Maddie Miller. Inside, Addison Martin. You talked about it to me during a timeout in the first half. You want to see some more inside presence.
Yeah, and when the three-point shot's not going 2 for 29 in the first half, it's a team at ACU, again, with the height advantage tonight. We knew that coming into a night like tonight. And, again, that's where I think maybe Coach Goodenough let them play in the first half. We'll see more structure here in the second half.
Inside for a deuce. Make it a 40-19 game, and out of bounds is ACU. Gives it back to Howard Payne. The Lady Jackets have it. It was Greenwell on the other end here who had scored a last trip down for HPU.
And back-to-back trips for the Lady Jackets to start the second half. Points on the scoreboard. Good switch there, Maddie Miller, working off the screen.
8 on the shot clock. It's Bria Neal. Left hand draws a foul. She's a very confident player.
She is. It's good to see her continue to attack the rim. Of course, 17 and a half a game last year, as we talked about. This is probably her toughest competition all year long out of the shooting game number one. So a chance for her to continue to grow. Tough night on the scoreboard, just 3 points as that one rolls off. But this is something for her to build on. Again, playing quality competition early in the season.
Well, you mentioned those points. That was second, her 17 and a half. Second in the conference last year, the American Southwest. If you can come into an arena and play a game like this, this does so much for you going into your season.
Oh, yeah.
When you play at your level.
Yeah, there's some intangible things to take away from a night like tonight.
Addison Martin, intangibles. She's going to grow a lot over the course of the season. Basically a rookie out there playing for the first time.
Yeah, playing some 2-on-2 on the left side of the floor. Again, Martin is 6 foot. Just good position on the block. Nice drop step to the baseline.
Dribbling around, Greenwell. Ball out of bounds. Back it goes to Abilene Christian. Let's send it over to Carrie.
The ACU community filed into Moody on Thursday night for the first ever Moody Madness. Fans in attendance caught a glimpse of ACU's men's and women's programs, including appearances from both head coaches, while athletics promoted school spirit and student attendance. Most importantly, it brought back the Moody magic that ACU has been missing the last 2 years. Guys, back to you.
Carrie, thank you, as ACU leads it 42-19. Jackson off the screen, her three, no good. There might not have been a more impressive player in the first half than Zoe Jackson, the sophomore out of McKinney, Texas.
And Zach, we've mentioned, as Jackson will get the steal and lead the break.
Exciting energy, brings all kinds of that to ACU. Langstaff not close on the three.
And go back to finish that thought before the Jackson steal. We mentioned the different rotations and the different line changes, but make no mistake, individually on the ACU side, they're still competing for minutes, competing for, job positions, starting roles, starting lineups. Some of that plays a factor, and Jackson's making a nice little resume for herself. Double digits, 12 points in that first half.
Langstaff off the drive finds Addison Martin. Now, I heard Julie Goodenough say to Langstaff after she missed that three, why didn't you drive? She drove that time. Good things happen.
3 buckets already here in the quarter from the paint for the Wildcats. Leading in that category, 30 points in the paint. Again, the three-point shot not falling. 30 in the paint.
Jumper good, Buchanan. Second year to sophomore. Timeout called by Abilene Christian at the 6:25 mark of the third quarter. ACU leads at 44-21 at the 6.5-minute mark of quarter number 3. Julie Goodenough calling that timeout just to regroup, reset a couple of things, and goes back to her starting 5 here in this third period.
Well, props to the Lady Jackets. Howard Payne much more efficient on their half-court offensive sets here in this second half. Just 5 points in the second quarter. They've already scored 6 here in this third quarter of play, and it comes down to the execution on the offensive end.
6-6 even in this third period. Abilene Christian 32% shooting. Howard Payne 30%. That's dropped down a ton since they got off to a pretty good start. But three-point percentage, are you ready for this? 17% for Howard Payne, 1 for 6. ACU 6%, 2 for 31. For some reason, it's not that they're not getting open looks. The ball is just not falling tonight.
The looks have been there. We can try to figure it out. First game in Moody, getting used to your new environment. Maybe the depth perception's a little bit different. Fans behind the glass, where they haven't had that the last 2 years.
Oh, man.
But again, Zach, going right back to it. That's a great drive by Langstaff. This third quarter has been dedicated to get the ball to the block, whether it's by entry pass or drive. Langstaff just does it by herself there.
Just makes it feel like the offense becomes a little more three-dimensional that way, because you can do just a few more things. Maddie Miller takes it away. Earl, that's still the staple of the Wildcats, though, in transition, getting that look from distance, and now a foul on this end after it was grabbed by Buchanan. Miller called for the penalty for ACU. Subs in 2 for each side. Thornton and Harjo for ACU. Ward and Small for Howard Payne. Lady Jacket basketball, they didn't have an inbounder.
I like this lineup. I like to see Thornton and Jackson both on the floor. Your 2 quick guards on the floor.
Is that the first time tonight?
I believe so. And then you've got length with both Harjo and Langstaff on the floor. Your veteran Miller out on the court. It's a good rotation. Extended defense all the way to the half-court line.
Right side three. Green no good. Kiara Green had a really nice stretch in that first half. She was really fun to watch. For the Lady Jackets, Aspen Thornton. Eventually one of them's going to go. She's got two of them tonight.
Well, this is a lineup again, Zach, that I think can push tempo. They can get out in transition. Maddie, good court vision. Far side, saw Thornton all by herself left side of the court. Aspen puts one down. She's got two of the 3 threes tonight.
Foul at this end. It's on Thornton. Aspen Thornton, a sophomore out of Hot Springs, Arkansas. We mentioned it. Started her career a season ago at Ouachita Baptist. Oh, look at that. And then Langstaff denies Green. It was clever, but then Langstaff was there, and Harjo's at the other end for the layup at transition.
Well, you're seeing the length of Langstaff there, listed at 5'11", but the wingspan matches it. Green got tricky. Langstaff with help defense, and again, another transition bucket. So it's back-to-back possessions of transition the Wildcats have executed and scored.
Greenwell under 10 on the shot clock, and a foul on Thornton again. That's her second. Let's go back to the triple.
Yeah, again, first you'll see.
Oh, no, this is the transition play, my bad.
Entry pass, Langstaff and help, but watch the push up the floor. Well, you won't see it, but a good push up the floor, and Harjo finishes with the left hand.
It's a 7-0 run for ACU in the last minute 52. Timeout on the floor. We'll take one with them. Abilene Christian in front by 30 in their home opener. ACU in front in the middle of quarter number 3, a comfortable 30-point advantage. Their home opener at Moody Coliseum. It's WAC basketball on ESPN. Zach Carlisle, Andy Penny, Carrie Johnston, and the gang on this opening Wednesday night of the women's basketball season. I love the first week of college hoops. It's a great feeling. 5 on a shot clock for the Lady Jackets. Thornton's coming our way, and it's tapped out of bounds right at the 4-minute mark.
Yeah, hustle play just couldn't quite keep it in play. Zach, I like this third quarter play for ACU. It feels much more structured. The half-court looks good. I think you're starting to see some court vision and those small things. It just takes time on the floor, especially in live action, to start recognizing your teammates' tendencies and how to work together. And I feel like we've seen some evidence of that here in this third quarter.
And again, we've continued to see both Jackson and Thornton, the 2 point guards, on the floor at the same time. So, I mean, it feels like it's a competition leading up to the season, but at the end of the day, they can both be out there and make a really big impact for Abilene Christian. Timeout, Howard Payne, 32nd timeout. 7-0 run over the last 2.5 minutes. Abilene Christian coming into the year, there was a lot of respect for this program. They were picked in the WAC preseason poll 5th. After a year where they finished 17-13, the respect for Julie Goodenough in this program 5th in the preseason poll.
I think so, and that's knowing what Coach Goodenough will bring to the table, especially by the time conference play rolls around. You get 10, 14 games under the belt of Coach Goodenough with this roster. They'll be ready to go. Of course, SFA always at the top, it feels like, whatever conference they are in, quality program out there. But no doubt Coach Goodenough will compete. I think the major thing from last year to fix is consistency. When you look, last year you'd see a 20-point victory versus the likes of Rio Grande Valley or a Tarleton, and on the flip side game, you'd see a 20-point defeat to the likes of Rio Grande Valley and Tarleton. I think Lamar was the same way last year. So it's just a matter of some consistency. We can beat opponents in the WAC. We have to do it if we have an opportunity to do it twice. We have to play just as good when we win. We have to match that in the second time. A matter of consistency, that'll come with time.
on a drive. Yes, and one. I didn't know if that was going to fall. It bounced home for Kiera Green. I've been impressed with number 2 in Navy all night long.
Yeah, Green's been able to just find seams in defense with the dribble. And look at that, just goes by the help defense. Graham went out to the corner to take away the three-point shot. Green recognized it, kept the dribble alive. Another three-point play. That's her second one tonight.
Tristan Keller checking in for Abilene Christian, number 20. Freshman out of Mason, Texas.
Great story about Tristan, too. If you don't know, Mason, of course, well known for all of their athletics. Tristan, state champion golf team last year in Mason. State champion, I believe, in the pole vault, and played football down in Mason, too. So she is a multi-sport athlete. She's tough, and she's highly athletic and pretty successful, too.
Very versatile on the basketball court. They love number 20. They're excited about her ceiling as her career goes. Harjo and company inside. Claire Graham, the local kid, goes coast to coast.
Did you hear the decibel level go up a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
A little local flavor. Claire Graham, coast to coast with a layup.
She's going to have a lot of family here, I imagine, all season long when they play their home games. Inside, tough take for Neal. It's been a tough night for Bria Neal. And out of bounds was Jessen for ACU. Back in Lillian Small.
Let's see Graham again, coast to coast here. Sees it half court, little hesitation dribble. Finishes strong with the right hand.
The athleticism feels different this year for Abilene Christian. They look faster, and their ability to put it on a dribble drive feels a little bit different than it was a year ago, too. Oh, off the steal, Thornton. Oh, and she short-armed the layup, but Keller's there. Now they're starting to get out and have a little bit of fun here. Green.
Yep. And I think you're right to go back to your point. This is going to be a team, it feels like a smaller lineup than what we've seen in the past, which means they're going to have to get out and transition and run when they have opportunities to run. The three-point shot will come, not there tonight, but another way to score points for this roster feels like it's going to be get up the floor, get ahead of defenses, transition, run, pace. You've seen that the last few trips.
Kiera Green to the line. She's inching closer towards double figures tonight. The sophomore transfer from Howard College comes over to Brownwood, and she's hit double digits, 10 points tonight for the Lady Jackets. She is their leading scorer in the game. Graham backs down. Keller lines one up.
Longtime friends, Graham and Keller, again, both local products. They're both freshmen, longtime friends, been in the AAU circuit together, the summer league ball, and I think that's a combination you'll hear from a lot in the next 4 years, Graham and Keller.
Travel on ground that time.
Interesting story about Graham, of course, a local product. This area of the country called the Big Country here in Abilene in West Texas, the Big Country. Claire played in the Big Country Fellowship of Christian Athletes All-Star game last summer, and she was awarded the most valuable player, which ironically enough is called the Julie Goodenough Most Valuable Player, that she won the Big Country Fellowship of Christian Athletes All-Star game last summer.
How cool is that? Julie Goodenough said, I've known Claire Graham her entire life. I mean, so to be able to go after somebody that you've known and got to see grow up, very cool. She said if we're going to go get local, because we know their families will be at the games every time, it's got to be a special kid, and Claire Graham fits that bill for ACU. Neal at the line. Just 3 points tonight, 1 for 8 from the floor. Louisiana native. A little less than a 70% foul shooter last year. So Howard Payne in the American Southwest, right? We're a little bit familiar with that over here in Abilene, just understanding what that league is about. Hardin-Simmons University and McMurray University are the two other schools in Abilene, Texas. They play in that Division III league, and so you understand it a little bit. Howard Payne's come to ACU a bunch of times over the years, and it's a competitive Division III conference, and I'm excited to see how that unfolds throughout the course of the season.
Yeah, Howard Payne knows that 65-mile drive between Brownwood and Abilene well. They make it twice during conference play. University of Mary Hardin-Baylor, of course, in that conference too. And props to Coach Goodenough. She loves this matchup. Of course, Coach Goodenough was at Hardin-Simmons with Howard Payne in that Division III level for so long. She understands the relationship between those two schools, and I know she has an affinity for Howard Payne and her time that she spent at Hardin-Simmons, and just loves to have this matchup, another trip to Abilene to allow Howard Payne, a competitive non-conference matchup really for both teams. And it's good to see the matchup continue, the rivalry, quote-unquote rivalry, continue between these two programs.
Foul on Brooke Jessen of ACU, so Neal goes back to the foul line. Harjo checks in for Jessen, who was called for her third personal foul. And so Neal back to the stripe. Neal was a part of that list with her, Greenwell, and Ward. Part of the American Southwest Conference preseason watch list. They don't do an all-conference team, but kind of players to watch. They pick some from each team, and those were the three to watch, and those three have really been a lot of fun tonight. And then you throw in Kiera Green into that mix, and it's a nice little unit there. Kind of some building pieces, as Andy mentioned earlier, for Howard Payne. Final minute of the third.
High-low Babineau, good position.
She caught it and scored in the first half on something a little bit similarly. No good that time.
Boy, Ward feels like barely been on the floor tonight. Foul trouble in that first half, 3 in the first quarter.
To your point, just 10 minutes. Yeah. Tough shooting night for Neal continues. Bella Earl, no good. No shot clock now. Corner three. It's Caitlin Ward. And it feels like welcome to the game.
And a little sigh of relief. I saw it come off her face. Just been a frustrating night watching from the bench.
And one, Claire Graham. She may be a little extra juiced up tonight with the support she's got in the crowd.
You know the blood is pumping good tonight for Claire. She's starting to respond now. 6 points, make it 7.
You ready for her record in high school at Jim Dett?
I know it's good.
125 wins, 15 losses. That's wild. Let's go to the end of the third. Fourth quarter coming up. WAC Hoops on ESPN. Back after these messages. Start of the fourth quarter in Abilene, Texas. WAC Hoops on ESPN. Opening night of the women's college basketball season at Moody Coliseum here in Abilene, Texas. Zach Carlisle, Andy Penny, Kerry Johnston, and the gang. Glad you could join us on this Wednesday night. ACU by 30. The 3 no good from Aspen Thornton. They take an early triple in the fourth quarter. Things were a little bit different there for ACU in quarter number 3.
Yeah, felt a little bit more organized. The early game, first game jitters were gone. Half-court execution much better. The shot selection much better.
Addison Martin, no good at transition. Bella Earl for the putback.
to go back to finish that, the highest scoring quarter of 25 points for ACU in that third quarter of play. They were 2 for 29 from 3 in the first half, 2 for 6 in that third quarter, and that's because I think it was more in a half court. And let's work the inside and push it back out to the outside. If the shot's there, we'll take it. But transition offense looked good, shot it much better too.
Transition offense here. Earl tried to force one up there. Thornton was open, gonna kick it. Earl, her three offline. Now Earl goes baseline. Abilene Christian takes advantage of their 26th offensive rebound tonight.
Yeah, second chance opportunities. Found Howard Payne out of defensive position and trying to reset. And easy layup. Wildcats show a little 2-3 zone here, fourth quarter.
I thought Beamsdorfer was going to take that three. She decided to go in, and then it turns into a travel. And subs check in. And I think people think, well, just get through the last 8 minutes. You got a comfortable lead. There's a lot of teachable moments here still. As the season gets going, Williams offline on the three. So this is an important 8 minutes that Julie Goodenough is going to continue to evaluate for Abilene Christian.
Again, you only get live action so often. You can go through practice and talk things and stop practice and, hey, let's work on this. But you only get so much live action and game film from live action that really tells, it's a tale of the tape a little bit more than what your practice will give you.
Earl blocked. No, foul. It's a foul.
All right, Zach, I love putting you on the spot during our broadcast. So tonight will be Coach Julie Goodenough's 200th victory at ACU. Who did ACU defeat for Coach Julie Goodenough's first win here at ACU as head coach?
Wow. Okay, so that would have been the 2012-13 year.
That is correct. Yeah, that was her first season.
ACU would have been in their final year as a Division II program.
Yeah, you're on the right track. I like where you're going.
Well, so I think I've narrowed it down to the country. Bella Earl on the first free throw.
Now, it was a non-conference game.
Non-conference.
So, that probably won't
so not
help
Lone Star.
Not the Lone Star. You're narrowing down. I love it.
Eventually, I will not get there, but I can keep guessing.
Well,
I'm going to throw out Howard Payne. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll give you the answer here in just a second.
I like
Maybe
it. It's the tease. Ooh, that was over and back.
Yep.
They missed that. That's all right.
Well, kudos to Coach Goodenough. Win 200 tonight in really 10 seasons. In game one of year number 11. That's on average of 20, and we'll come back to it here. Great answer. Who was it? No guess? Texas A&M International,
okay.
94-66, and look at that date. We are 1 day shy of the 10-year anniversary.
How about that?
November 10th of 2012. So kudos to that. Texas A&M International, the first victim of 200 of Coach Goodenough's career. But yeah, 20 on average of 20 per season. She's transitioned this program from the Division II ranks to Division I, already an NCAA tournament under her belt in the first 10 years. Big things here in year number 11.
Yeah, I mean, that's the crazy part. And not crazy. I mean, it's expected because she's been a winner at the NAIA level, the D3 level, the D2 level, and now the Division I level. She's been to the national tournament at each of those levels.
And we say 200 here. I mean, the total number in 26 years is over 700 victories for Coach Goodenough. A lot of that, again, at Hardin-Simmons here in Abilene as well. She's a local product. She went to Haskell, grew up in Haskell, which is maybe an hour down the road or up the road just north of Abilene. And she's certainly a local favorite, great person for one and great basketball coach for two.
And it did not take long to be great at Division I after she took over. They transitioned and won 3 championships. 2 of them were in the regular season back-to-back in the 15-16 year and the 16-17 year. Spectacular things right away. And it's just been gold for a decade. Hampton Williams in transition. 6.5 to go on opening night.
You look at the score sheet for ACU, all but one player in the scoring column, and it's Maddie Miller, the fifth-year grad student, the only one that's not in the scoring column, but kudos to Maddie as the assists have been there tonight. 7 rebounds, 4 assists.
That's a dive on the floor for Addison Martin. That's not going to sound like a big play. We'll go back to the basket first. I want to talk about that in a second. That's the transition bucket for Williams. But Addison Martin diving on the floor for that loose ball, that showed me some trust in that leg, because that's a mental game. She's back healthy, very much cleared to play after tearing up her knee. But that's a mental block to get over. So her diving after a ball like that tells me kind of where she is mentally and ready to play on the floor. Inside, Langstaff. Miller. Bumped. She just needs something positive on her final opening night. Her freshman year was the year this team won the Southland Conference tournament and made it to the NCAA tournament, where they lost to the #1 seed Baylor, who ended up winning the national championship that year. Langstaff, left hand.
And to go back to talk about Maddie, you know, a graduate student, you mentioned the freshmen and sophomores on this roster, no juniors, no seniors. Maddie's got a lot on her shoulders from a leadership role, but from what I've known about Maddie the last 3 years, she'll step up. She's ready for that responsibility as far as the veteran on this team.
Trinity Greenwell, no good on the 3. Zoe Jackson.
Boy, she is so good with that left hand. And
She could be a real difference maker.
And I tell you, players, I don't know if it's instinctively or because of the ratio of right hand to left hand, players like to play that dominant side on the right side, but Zoe's so good with that left hand, able to get to the glass.
Miller.
Great pass.
Martin, rather, in transition. That was a heck of a find from Miller. Averaged 2.5 assists per game last year. Always been a top assist player. Mitchell inside for the Lady Jackets. Asia Mitchell, the junior out of Jasper, Texas. Transfer from UT Dallas. Miller wants one to go. She's going to get one at some point. And maybe it'll be a take to the rim. I don't know. But timeout on the floor. Final 4.5 minutes coming up as you look at the beautiful art in Moody Coliseum. 4.5 to go tonight, this opening night in Moody Coliseum in Abilene, Texas. ACU on their way to a 1-0 start. Howard Payne, their second sort of basically exhibition, because this game doesn't count towards their win-loss record, before they will open up with Southwestern next Tuesday. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay with Howard Payne at this end in this final 4:19.
Yeah, Wildcats playing a little 2-3 zone here in the final few minutes.
Picked off. It's Jackson. Oh, she's earning her way towards player of the game with the impact she's made on the game. Let's send it over to the third member of our team, Carrie Johnston.
The Wildcats and Lady Jackets have had a storied history while at the Division I level, but the head coach, Julie Goodenough, has been familiar with the team much longer. Her experience with them dates back to her tenure at Hardin-Simmons in the 1990s when she first faced the team. She remembered those hard-fought battles when she came to ACU and added Howard Payne to the schedule, and said that she has been thrilled to host them almost every year since then. Guys, back to you.
Carrie, thank you. Yeah, we've talked about that throughout the night, and just her willingness to put this team on her schedule and get the home game for one to open up the season and the building, obviously, but it's a win-win for both sides. It's a great way to open the year, and then it gives Howard Payne a ton of good things as well. So positives for both sides. 4 minutes to go tonight.
Again, we talked about just having game film, live action to critique. And what better for Howard Payne than to play somebody like ACU? Local road trip, you can make it in a day, come over, play a competitive basketball game, get better, learn some things about your team, and move on to the next one.
Bria Neal's tough night continues. Zoe Jackson, is this her exclamation point? Yes, it is.
The stage is not too big for Jackson. She's going to be something special, earning her way to the starting point guard spot.
Career high. Counting her season in Butler last year and her first game at ACU, 18 points. Inside and out of bounds. Off of Ashley Seymour. ACU coming up at Rice on Sunday. First test, it's right away for the Wildcats. They'll return home for a kids game at 11 a.m. They'll have a bunch of elementary school kids here on November the 16th against Southwest UTSA. And then their tournament after Thanksgiving, hosted by North Texas over in Denton. It's a tough non-conference schedule for ACU.
Those two quality road trips here coming up in the next few weeks. Of course, UTSA, Karen Aston, her second year there with the Road Runners. They made the trip to Abilene last year, and Wildcats will make the return trip to San Antonio.
And a matchup with Rice on Sunday will be a big one. How about Howard Payne coming up? They've got basically their real opening game, Southwestern. That one will count, and then Barkley College, Trinity U, Texas Lutheran as well. So their season begins for real. These first couple are games that basically go as exhibitions toward the Lady Jackets season.
They start with 3 home games, all in a span of 7 days.
Maddie Miller's on the board. The fifth-year senior has her first points on her final opening night. I said happy opening night to her earlier, and then I said, hey, happy final opening night. She said, oh, no, can't say that. That's going to make me get emotional.
Final Wildcat to get in the scoring column. The entire roster has put something in the hole tonight.
All 13. Speaking of 13, Jackson, a 20-burger. On the move, too deep for Welsh, and then a foul and a putback attempt. Coming up a little bit hobbled with Seymour there. Minute 58 to go. There's the gang that's put it all together tonight. They've had a busy opening week, haven't they? Hutton Harris, Tom Searle, the ACU TV student run crew. He's directing that camera. Then he's going to send it back over to them. I mean, they are the ones that put this thing together. Fantastic job. Can't wait to have this crew all season long. That one, bounced around. No good. Next Tuesday, November 15th, join us for WAC basketball on ESPN for a men's game. Abilene Christian hosts Division III's McMurray University. Tip-off 8 Eastern, 7 Central on ESPN Plus and the ESPN app. That's what's next. They'll head on the road, both men's and women's basketball teams for Abilene Christian this weekend, to put a bow on this really special opening week. There just really isn't anything quite like it. And it's special for everybody around the country, but really in particular here at ACU, you can really feel it.
Well, and I tell you, I think kudos really to one, both teams for putting on a great show, two, to this ACU fan base, the student body, and the fan base. And, the Teague Center was a great home. Don't get me wrong. The energy was great. But when you cap it at 700, the temporary Teague Center, it's only so great. And when you get in here with 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 great screaming Wildcat fans and a quality product on the field, it's something special to be a part of.
Corner 3 for Flores. And, when you talk about, one, the kudos to the athletic staff for being able to put a temporary facility together in kind of a short amount of time and turn a tennis court into a facility to play basketball for 2 years. That's a good credit to them. And then to get this place ready to roll with all the amenities, it really does take a village to do it. And you got to give a lot of credit where it's due to the entire staff. That ball up in the air, and that's going to be a foul.
And Zach, we've had a chance to travel the country and be in other arenas.
Absolutely.
And, we're talking Power 5 arenas where ACU goes and plays. Of course, the Western Athletic Conference. And this place is something special. When you talk about fan experience at a place like this, what has been developed here at Moody Coliseum through this renovation is really, really something special.
Neal at the line. A minute 19 to go tonight.
Neal's got a big season in front of her. She'll probably walk away a little discouraged, maybe frustrated tonight, but she's got a big season ahead of her.
Yeah, it's been tough shooting, 1 for 11. A lot of that's a size difference. She's been playing inside, and you're not going to see anybody this tall and lengthy consistently.
Something she needs to take away from that will probably be true all season long. When another team puts together a scouting report, her name's at the top of the scouting report.
Without question. Oh, how about the friendly roll for Thornton? How fun are these point guards for ACU? That was supposedly the question mark coming in.
They've answered the bell. Well, just a great drive. Wow. Thornton's done it from behind the three-point line for her first 6 points of the night, but she can get to the rim.
As her counterpart Jackson looks on with associate head coach Erica Lambert. Speaking of Erica Lambert, she's going to be a head coach someday soon. One of the great assistant coaches in college basketball. Ball tapped free. Final minute of opening night. Evie Scola, no. Tristan Keller, can she run? She's got Addison Martin. They haven't lost any energy, have they?
Yeah, we had a chance to talk to the officials between quarters. Said, do you have your game legs yet? And they said no, and they're still running out here too. They're making us earn it tonight.
Another steal. Thornton behind the back. Yeah, that's fun.
That's something special. A little crack of a smile over there by Julie Goodenough after that one. Congrats on win number 200, Julie.
No shot clock. Let the celebration begin. Blocking foul with 11.5 seconds on Thornton.
And it's turned into a 50-point half here for the Wildcats.
Yeah, how about that?
Yep.
This is nice. Aspen Thornton's pass.
Oh, yeah.
Then the block and the jump ball here was 7.8. These teams are going all the way to the whistle, all the way to triple zeros. I guess it's 2 zeros now. They don't put that extra zero on there. They don't need it. Abilene Christian 1-0. They opened their brand new facility with a win, and Julie Goodenough, a historic night, her 200th win as a member, as a head coach of Abilene Christian.
It wasn't the prettiest of things, but it plays out how game number one typically plays out. Defense, you have to be solid defensively. Hold Howard Payne to 37 points. The shots will come. This team will continue to gel. That will come. The pace of play was great. The defense was great. The transition off of the defense was great. Props to Howard Payne. They played just the same. The hustle was great. Shots just didn't fall, and they anticipated a night like tonight. And at the end of the night, ACU the win. Julie Goodenough win number 200.
A lot of things to like about opening night. One of them was number 13, Zoe Jackson. How good was Zoe Jackson tonight?
She did a little bit of everything, especially with the dribble, getting to the rim, especially with the left hand. She is a floor general. She does it great. As you look at the final stat sheet, 22 points on the night for Jackson.
She works her way around the table, puts her headset on, and she's going to join us as our player of the game. I was talking to her during pregame. I could tell she was hyped up and ready to play basketball. Zoe, first of all, congratulations on the win.
Thank you, Zach.
How did it feel out there? Opening night, you finally got out there and got to play some ball.
We've been working hard since June. We got here in June, and we've been ready to play in Moody for that long. So I was really excited, and I'm really glad that me and my teammates showed out the way we did.
Well, sometimes you kind of build it up in your head as to what you think it might be
Yeah.
out there. How did it live up to what you were thinking it was going to be tonight?
Definitely we had some, upsets, but we kind of got back to like what we know how to do, and definitely it's gonna be a good season. We like to score a lot of points, a lot of threes. Threes weren't falling this game, but next game it'll definitely be a different game.
How did it feel out there for you offensively? I mean, you feel like at times your shot was out there falling, your ability to get to the basket as well. 20 points. How did it feel out there?
I was flowing. I mean, I was taking what the defense gave me, and I don't know, I was just doing what I've been doing since, I was born. I was born to play basketball, and I just have the ball in my hands and do what I need to do, score. I like to score. I like to get my teammates open. So doing that just put a smile on my face.
How does it feel to get a win on opening night?
Awesome. Coming from Butler, we didn't have that many wins, so having this is amazing. I love it.
Congratulations, Zoe.
Thank you, Zach.
Thanks for joining us. Zoe Jackson, our player of the game, 20 points, and now you see the celebration, and they're going to take a really nice picture out there on the court as well. ACU wins at 89-37. It's been a presentation of the Western Athletic Conference on ESPN. Until next time, Zach Carlisle, Andy Penny, Kerry Johnston, the whole crew, sing so long. Take care. Good night from Abilene, Texas.